Hello again, fellow cruise travelers. This is Donna Spencer, Lucra Journey, your personal travel advisor, here with another port review again, but we're going over the amazing port of Mahogany Bay, Roatan. Located in Dixon Cove, which is between the Coxen Hole and the French Harbor Port along Roatan's south side. The port can dock 2 ships at once. Once you get off the ship, you will walk along the pier and up through the Dufry Store, which does offer a very nice selection of pharmaceutical stuff in the one corner there. Then you walk uphill, and it is a hill, to the shopping area. Most of the port, unfortunately for some of us, tends to be at a steady incline. Quite literally, there are a couple like plateau spots, but you just keep going up. But it's beautiful, and there are a number of spots that they have designated for you to stop and rest if you should need to on your way up. And there's a few places you can stop for some nice photo ops. Once up into the Welcome Center cruise area, there is a small marketplace to the far left, and there are restaurants and the chairlifts or the sky chairs to the far right. Diagonally to the left of this beautiful center fountain area is a red roofed building. That is your exit point from the port. All major credit cards and US currency are utilized in Mahogany Bay, and there are a number of ATMs spattered about the area. Once outside the Welcome Center or the cruise port terminal, the official currency of Roatan is the Honduras Lempira. Lempira? I should have checked that before I started talking. Anyway, it's an official currency as seen here. At the time of this taping, the exchange rate was somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 cents for every one of a US dollar. But don't be surprised when you're out in the markets and the stalls if you don't get the Honduras money as change. And keep in mind, cash is still king. It's strongly suggested that you carry only small bills with you when you go out into the straw markets and shops, especially if you're going first thing in the morning, as a lot of the vendors might not have accumulated enough cash on hand to be able to make correct change for the larger bills. Credit cards will be accepted in almost all the major tourist locations and population hubs. However, be mindful, some of these vendors can tack on as much as a 22% credit card fee for using it, so be sure to ask before you swipe that card. As stated at the beginning, even though almost the entire area is paved in some fashion, the many different inclines can and will probably cause issues for a number of individuals trying to traverse them. But despite that, Mahogany Bay is one of the easiest ones to move around in. If you don't care for the almost mile walk to the beach, you can purchase for a small fee a ride on their sky chairs. I personally love the sky chairs. My husband, he's not too crazy about heights, so the first time we went on them, he was a little apprehensive, but being the Viking that he is, he did just fine. And in fact, we found out that if you buy the all-day pass, you can just ride around and dry off before you even get back on the boat. For those of us with sensitive skin, those of us like myself and my husband, Northerners, or in his case, from Austrian, descent, the Roatan sun can and will cause a lot of discomfort or even damage to your skin if you are not careful. So sunscreen, 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 people. I can't tell you enough. The chair rides, or the sky chairs, give you the most fantastic view of the area. But there is no shade up there, and it can take anywhere from 12 to 25 minutes to get from one side to the other, depending on how many times people stop the chair. Once on the beach, the sand stays really rather compact around the rental areas and the restaurants and the bars up towards the back part. As you walk closer and closer to the water, of course, the sand gets a little more loose and a little more difficult to tread on. Back in the beginning of the cruise port terminal, the shops are close together without being right on top of each other. And they tend to offer a lot of variety instead of a lot of the same old souvenirs you tend to find at a lot of these ports. Although there is a fair amount of the same old too. Towards the north end of the cruise port is a small straw market area. A number of smaller stalls set back underneath this larger warehouse pavilion type structure. When I attempted to barter with them a little bit, I got a lot of the same "I'm just here to sell the stuff" comments, which of course made me begin to wonder about the administrative dynamics behind this facility or this establishment. Either they were just saying that as a way to kind of get out of the haggling because they didn't care to, or there really is one person running the show. Either way, there was enough of a variety of things that I found that I didn't wonder too long on that one particular topic. That and Todd was worried about the time as I continued to try to look around. He just was worried about us getting back on time, and he was actively rushing me along. He just detests the idea of being a pier runner or anything remotely close to a pier runner. Personally, I kind of like the idea of all those people cheering me on. You find in the main cruise welcome center near the taxi stand does have the ability to stamp your passport. However, it is a souvenir passport stamp, not an actual passport stamp. According to the official site, you cannot receive an official passport stamp unless you have stayed in the country for more than 90 days. If you choose to stay in the cruise port terminal during your visit, you'll still have a good time. There's plenty to do, but you won't actually see the island of Roatan. The cruise port terminal is actually extremely isolated, and there really is no place for you to walk to get a much better feel for the culture of the surrounding area. If you really want to see the island, you'll have to either book an excursion or set up your own adventure for the day. But again, keep in mind, if you're setting up your own adventure for the day, it can take over 30 minutes to get from one side to the other, so you're going to want to figure that time before you take off so that you are back to the ship in time and not a pier runner. Beach by the sky chairs going back to the ship that offers not only regular bathroom facilities but also a foot and body washing station. I think they're hoping that by using that we'll leave more Roatan there and less of it will end up on the boat. There is a small children's play area on the beach between the restaurants and the bars and right behind the last row of lounge chairs. It is small, but it is free. Mahogany Bay also has a couple of extra services that I think people would enjoy. On top of the sky chairs, they also offer Wi-Fi all day for a small fee. It was $5 at the time of the recording. They have a first aid station before you even pass through the cruise terminal, and lovely artwork all over the place that you can gaze at and enjoy. There is even an international airport that displays a sign advertising that they can fly to multiple locations, even as far away as Canada. They have beautiful nature trails where the entrance is just to the east side of that cruise shop, that Dufry shop. If you're going back to the ship, you're going to go to the left side of that building, or the east side, and follow the clearly marked trails till you get to the spot. My husband, however, only allowed me to go a few feet in before he started pulling me back because, again, we were kind of cutting it close, and he was quite concerned about the time because he knows that when I start wandering around in a natural area like that, I tend to totally disregard the time because I'm just having way too much fun in the beauty of nature. There are clearly marked evacuation routes in case you are unlucky enough to have to use them. They bring in a number of local folk musicians and dancers that are fantastic to be entertained and watch. They do accept tips, and a number of small historical exhibits that I enjoyed wandering around and looking at while listening to this beautiful folk music that just created this fantastic, relaxed but happy, upbeat vibe to the entire area. Even though we've been to Mahogany Bay a few times, I do always look forward to going back because the scenery is so beautiful, and I do really enjoy riding those sky chairs. However, I think the next time we go back, I will definitely be hitting those nature trails, and I'll let my poor husband just go relax on the beach while I go exploring in those areas. As always, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them in the bottom there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And should you wish to go to Mahogany Bay, Roatan, but you'd like a little bit of help, give me a holler. I'll be more than happy to get you on an itinerary into that area. Until later, happy sailing. The Mahogany Bay port is owned by the Carnival Corporation. A lot of these ports are owned actually by Carnival Corp. Anyhow, did I get that correct? No, backwards. Far left, far left. It's because I'm waving my left hand. It's on the left, I'm waving my left. Why am I not saying left? Okay, let's try this again. If she wasn't such a good companion dog. Luckily, she only barks when there are people moving around. But with us having a large family, there's a lot of people moving around. All right, where was I?